Tonight, a new era begins for ASN and the OSRL GT Series. 3 seasons down, but no live broadcasts, but that changes tonight. Who will etch their name in the history books as the first winner of a broadcasted OSRL race? We'll find out together over the next hour. 37 cars take to the track as we go racing in New York. Next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Watkins Glen International. Opened in 1948, this 3.45-mile, 11-turn circuit currently hosts NASCAR and IMSA, along with Formula One and IndyCar in past years. The layout has been largely unchanged since 1971 and is a very fast circuit, starting with the downhill plunge to the 90-degree turn 1, up the hill through the S's, down to the inner loop. We'll watch for plenty of overtakes here. We wind through the banked carousel, through the boot, back up to the final set of corners to complete a lap here in Watkins Glen, New York. The format for the OSRL GT Series is as follows. We are a split series with GT3 cars and GTP prototypes. We're in a 15-minute qualifying session to determine the grid for our 45-minute race. The 4th season of the OSRL GT Series begins tonight live on the Automotive Sports Network. With Bryan Sawyer on the production truck and Cody Erdmann next to me in the commentary box, my name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to Watkins Glen, New York. Cameras for tonight's broadcast are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams, and coverage on ASN all year long, brought to you by NordVPN, your gateway to online freedom and security. Protect your digital privacy with military-grade encryption, browse the web anonymously, and access your favorite content from anywhere in the world. Receive 67% off a 2-year plan with 3 months free at nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Cody, the last time we had GTP cars here on ASN was with IMSA, but no electric cars here. 37 cars across 2 classes at a magnificent Watkins Glen, and it's been 90 days since we've been sitting in a commentary box together. How are you? What are your thoughts about tonight?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back up here in the ASN commentary booth. And yeah, the last time me and you were in a booth together was down at Slinger Speedway. So a little bit of a different venue here. Yeah, looking forward to watching these GT3 and GTP cars run around Watkins Glen here. Nice big stacked field, really big stacked GT3 field with about 10 GTP cars, which in practice everyone was super close in time between both classes. So looking forward to a good 45-minute race here.
As currently fastest, Cody Hayhurst set the fastest time at a 1 minute 29.989. Marlo Duncan 1 minute 30.608. And a couple of the big storylines coming into the first round of the championship. Of course, it's a clean slate for everyone. We're going to be on the lookout for a couple of the defending champions to mix it up in GT3, such as Ken Huber. He won 8 of the 10 races last season, or Season 2 champion Edgar Ruiz returning as well. And Luke Gledzik, who is the defending GTP champion, he is moving to this GT3 class. So, of course, we'll keep an eye on these ridiculously fast prototypes. But Cody, it's going to be a brawl with, I'd say, 30 of the 37 cars, rough estimate, in this GT3 field.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be kind of reminiscent of what we see real life in IMSA, where in IMSA, yeah, we have 2 split classes, but there's about 30 GT3 cars, and they're all stacked on top of each other lap time-wise. So in practice, I think with the top 10, we're all within the same second bracket. So it's going to be a lot of pit strategy, and we're also going to have to look forward we're going to have to look at the forecast every time we hop in a session now, especially with these cars. And today we're looking at 69 and a little bit of cloud, not much. So it's going to be a nice, calm, easy race for the season opener.
And we were talking before we went on air, will we see a rain race in this season at some point? The debut of the Tempest system, at least I believe it's called the Tempest system, in iRacing, the weather system. I'll tell you, when I joined in 2011, people talked about rain then, and it has finally made its debut, and it's going to be super exciting for that. As we're rolling through qualifying, I just want to go through a couple of programming notes before we get rolling here on the Automotive Sports Network. We will start out with NASA Rallycross Lights. They'll have their second test race on Sunday. That'll be March 10th, second test race in Knock Hill. Completely honest, I'm not sure if the crew is going to have a live broadcast. If they will, it will be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But the following week is the season opener that's in Hell in Norway. Next Monday, the 11th, Rallycross Challenge, NASA Rallycross Challenge will have their second test as well. I can guarantee you that will not be broadcast, as I will probably be driving in that race. Our season opener for the 30th season of the NASA Rallycross Challenge will be the following week, the 18th of March in Norway. As Bryan Sawyer says, no commentary broadcast, so Bryan might just do it. Going back to the lights, just a reminder, the crew on that, Jared Lott will be back for Lap by Lap, James Watson, the analyst, and Victor Valley in the production truck. And on Monday, it'll be myself, Josh Mertz, Justin Robichaux, and Bryan Sawyer for that. And the second round, and I know we haven't even gotten through qualifying for the first round, second round of the OSRL GT Series at the Daytona International Speedway. That will be next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Cody Erdmann, and Bryan Sawyer for that one. And I'm interested to see, Cody, we saw in practice Lincoln Larson, who was 0.2 faster than the rest of the field, flying by one of the GT3 cars on the back straightaway, and he has not set a lap yet. And the commitment you need in the bus stop, David Hobbs would say very large attachments to keep it PG, and he nearly gets taken out by one of the GT3 cars, and I think he's on a hot lap.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to watch the traffic here, especially with this many GT3 cars. You're going to be slicing and dicing for a while through the traffic. So definitely going to be something to keep an eye on, because we've only had 3 of the 7 or 8 GTP cars take time. Cody's still up in P1 with a 129.9. Looking through the GT3 field, we have like 4 different manufacturers in the top 5. So every manufacturer is pretty even here in the GT3 portion of our race.
As I'm trying to see final couple of corners for Larson, Brandon Holmes in the 48, sitting in 11th. I don't think he's ran a lap. Larson will come off the final corner, cross the line. Will he go P1 in qualifying? I don't think that lap counted, or it was a warm-up, so we'll have to see what the 916 can do. He's got a clear track with no GT3, so this should be a good lap for him. Marlo Duncan set a lap, 1 minute 30.608. Dylan Gonas in the 47 just set a lap, 1 minute 33.371. And we're still missing about 12 cars to clock a lap here in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's definitely open qualifying with mixed racing is definitely a different beast that you're going to have to deal with.
1 minute 29.446 sets another fastest lap. So let's try and find Larson down the toe of the boot. And Watkins Glen, one of my favorite tracks, because there's no stop-start, hard-braking, tight chicanes. It is all fast flowing. Full commitment is needed. Really, the only thing that's difficult, technically wise, is the bus stop. And you can flirt with the curbs and the grass, and there's been once or twice where I ended up in the dirt. So Larson, full commitment on corner exit, going to turn 10, down to turn 11. And the final corner for the 916. Will this be a lap that will give him provisional pole, crossing the line in the 916, 1 minute 28.3, a 10th up on McKenna, and maybe we might see a battle for the GTP lead here.
That's a second and a 10th there.
I don't know how to read. It's been 90 days.
That was a flyer, although I'm kind of curious on if Maverick had a fully clean lap, is we have Austin Diltz, who's P1 in the GT3 field. He is sitting up the road in his Audi. And then Jay Smart, as we have here on screen, he's in his Lambo. And then I believe there's a Porsche and a Ferrari, or a BMW in the top 5. So, like I said, all 4 manufacturers of, I think we have 6 or 7 in the GT3 field.
I can answer the question. Maverick did not. Kenna, and I don't think Larson's done. Final set of corners. He nearly runs into Dylan Clark in the 934. As I'll keep an eye on that. Crossing the line. 1 minute 28.6. So he's not quicker than his last lap time. And McKenna's back on track as well, Cody. Jump or 4 wheels off the road in the bus stop. I told you commitment's necessary.
Yeah, these guys going through this bus stop
he gets held up again.
Entertaining to watch.
That's going to kill his lap. Deegan Yerquides in the 223. And forewarning, apologies for any pronunciation issues. As if there are any, please correct us. I'd greatly appreciate it. But Deegan in the 223. I think he's trying to let Maverick by. And it doesn't look like Maverick is going to have a good time because James Rep is his next victim. Then he's got a couple more entering turn 10. And Jay Smart, actually, as we ride on board McKenna in the 817. Through turn 9. Off camber on exit. Gets by the 5 of James Rep. Through turn 10. Use all the curb on exit. Into turn 11. Don't clip the curb on driver's right driver's left, sorry, too much. You'll hit the wall. And beginning another lap for the 817. And he's going to have a couple of GT3 cars in his way. Out of turn 1. Up the hill through the S's. Turns 2 and 3. Flat out in these GTP cars. And down the back straightaway. Can he clear Wesley Woods and Jay Smart before the bus stop? That's not going to happen. At least he's going to get by Smart. He will not get by Woods through the bus stop, and he has to abort the lap. That might be it for him.
Yeah, I do not believe we have enough time. Nope. Yeah, we're not going to have enough time to do a full out lap. And then, unfortunately, it's not like F1 here where as long as you take the white, you take a green flag with time on the clock, you can finish. It is over at 0-0. So it's a shame. Maverick was within 2/10, I believe, during practice, and he just could not get the lap situated. I stand corrected. He was 3/10 off in practice. Cody Hayhurst as well in the 98 was the closest to Larson. As we look through the carousel at Christian Oquendo in the 0-1. He was quickest in practice in the GT3s, but he is sitting 10th in class right now as the checkered flag going to wave in just under a minute here in Watkins Glen. And shout out to Edgar. He made that move to the GT3 field, and he's going to be, at the moment, P2 in GT3.
So 6 GTP cars have qualified. 3 of them have not. I'm not sure. I'm taking a look through this entry list, and we are missing Sobian Ortega in a GTP car. He is disconnected from the server. So the driver from Texas doesn't look like he'll be competing in tonight's race, but it could change. So we should have 6 GTPs, and the rest are GT3s, unless the other couple of cars do stay connected to the server. And I'm not sure, Cody, are we going to see a split start, or are we going to have a couple of these GTP cars have to fly through the back of the field?
I'd imagine we'd see a split start. Guess we're going to find out together as a group.
As the checkered flag falls on qualifying Lincoln Larson, 1 minute 28.310. And it looks like it is going to let them complete these laps. So hold on, hold the phone. Never mind. Maverick McKenna stays in the pit lane in the 817. So a couple cars on track. Just trying to flick through. Michael LeBron sitting 5th in class in the 26 in the Porsche. Rounding the carousel. He is 6/10 down on Austin Diltz in the 14, sitting 5th in class, 11th overall. Just taking a look through the field. Corey Allen is on track as well. We honestly only have a few cars left. And interesting, I think some of these guys were as confused as we were, that they thought that the session might have kicked itself forward when you hit 0-0, but a couple of these guys just taking the chance and trying to get a better lap time, Cody.
Yeah, I think most league sessions, they have it set up to where it does cut off. So that's why I think we were all a little bit surprised. So good thing to know going on into round number 2 when we go to Daytona. We'll have to keep that in mind.
So I'm going to give a shout out to Victor Valley, who is internally in Discord giving us some little stat nuggets. I have the points from the last season of GTP, and Kledzik is in GT3. Dylan Gonas actually is the runner-up from GTP last season. And he's the only car in the top 10, it looks like, that has returned to that class. Jay Smart moves to GT3, Kledzik to GT3. So Gonas sitting P6, and he's is that 2.5 seconds off of Larson's time?
I believe so, yeah.
So, my favorite word on ASN shows is spicy. You'll hear that a lot all year through the NASA shows. And 1.1 seconds is the margin from first to second. And we'll take a look at our grid here this evening. Lincoln Larson, Maverick McKenna, Fozzie Fazilio, Bryan Sawyer said that's the greatest name in sim racing. Cody Hayhurst, Marlo Duncan, Dylan Gonas, Austin Diltz. Diltz on pole position in GT3. Edgar Ruiz in 8th. And as we take a look through the rest of the field, Jay Smart, Dylan Clark, Michael LeBron, Gene McLuhan, Luke Kledzik, Brandon Holmes, Morgan Smith, Christian Oquendo out in 16th. Corey Allen, Wanchi Requena, Jacob Plemons, James Repp, Ethan Halsey, Matthew Buchorn, Donnie Heineman, Luis Ortiz in 24th. 25th, Deegan Urquides, Omar Acevedo, Henning Sparva, Caden Diedrich, Brent Smith, Stephen Ryan, Jeffrey Seymour, Jacob Fugate down in 32nd, and should be the final set. It's not. We're going to have one last page. Nick Vincent, Alex Rivera, Jack Clark, Justin Gibbs, Sobian Ortega, Steve Tucker, Brianna Lavin, Robert Zuku, and Wesley Woods in 41st. I did not have fun, Bryan Sawyer. 41 cars, although I don't think we're going to have all 41. We'll just have to wait and see, as we will have a formation lap, of course, and then we will go green with a rolling start here in Watkins Glen, New York.
And we do have a split start, so all the GTP cars will be up front, and then the GT3s will be behind. Usually the GT3 guys will probably give a couple second space, just in case if the GTP cars, hopefully not a commentator's curse here, don't all die in turn 1.
You can't say that. You can't talk about it and then claim it like it's not going to happen, because it is going to happen.
Well, it is race 1.
There's no escaping it. Okay? So,
hey,
according to everything, 9 GTP cars, even though I don't think all of them are connected, and the rest are GT3s. And, wow. I don't even think we had 41 cars for the original version of the NASA Sports Car Challenge. So this might be the biggest field that we've had on an ASN show. And it's a stark contrast to the NASA Winter Nationals that we had in December. So we begin to roll here in New York. Larson McKenna on the front row of the grid. And like I said earlier, Cody, I'm going to be interested. I'll pay attention a lot to the GTPs. Can McKenna hang on to Larson? Can Hayhurst hang on to Larson? Or will Larson just say goodbye and pull away from the field? And it was a pretty tight battle for GT3 in qualifying. Diltz, Ruiz, Smart, Clark, LeBron, the top 5 there.
Yeah, and we got a GT3. We have an Audi, a BMW, a Lamborghini, and a Ferrari in the first 2 rows. And then a Porsche, 2 Porsches in row 3. So pretty even on the manufacturer's side of things for the GT3 cars.
Manufacturer breakdown of the GTPs: Acura, Porsche, Cadillac. So 2 Cadillacs, 3 Porsches, and 2 Acuras to run this 45-minute race. The danger zone, I would say, really, whole track with how the classes are different. But like I mentioned in the opener, you have plenty of room through the entire course, except the bus stop. As one groove, you get stuck behind a GT3 car, it can make or break your race if you're a GTP car. And if you're a GT3 car, having to avoid being a moving chicane for the GTPs could make or break your race. So I don't wish any contact. We always wish a clean race, but I suspect we might see some shenanigans in that bus stop.
Yeah, as the main rule with being the slower class, you definitely have to just hold your line, run your line. Don't make any like roll quick evasive maneuvers. The GTP cars are fast enough; they'll get around you easily. So hopefully the GT3 guys will kind of get used to this. We're probably going to have a couple little incidents, just getting used to how everyone drives, but hopefully we'll keep getting cleaner as the season goes on.
As 25 of you are joining with us for the inaugural round of the OSRL GT Series, I should say inaugural broadcasted round of the fourth season, first round. Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, Cody Erdmann alongside me. My name is Josh Mertz as we get ready to unleash these GTP and GT3 cars on this Watkins Glen International Circuit. 45 minutes. And I don't know what to expect. Just take a breath, grab your hard hat, grab your safety goggles, grab your vest, grab your gloves, because it's gonna be a fun one.
Are those supplied by Cintas?
I can supply you with them. You can't say that name. I don't want to get fired. You can't sponsor it. So we'll just say the Wolfpack can supply those for you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Safety car will be off, and we will take the first green flag of the 2024 season here on the Automotive Sports Network. Larson says goodbye. Green flag in Watkins Glen. We're 3 wide for second with Hayhurst, Fazillo, and McKenna down to the first corner. And Fazillo thought he could make it happen. Side by side, Hayhurst versus Fazillo, and Hayhurst takes the spot. Rest of the GTPs are clean. GT3s are also clean as well. We're single file for the first 5 cars. Smith to the inside of Allen for 6th, I should say there. Side by side, Plemons and Rakenna. And Wanchi Rakenna, 3rd last season in the GT3 points. Plemons on the outside. Rakenna hit the curb and lost that spot. Aquendo and Rep up the S's. Nearly contact between them. Clean through the bus stop for the GTPs, not missing anything there. And we take a look side by side. Aquendo versus Rep, and Aquendo takes the spot. Single file through the field. No contact between any of these cars. Unbelievably, through the first half of a lap, Cody.
Beautiful start by this whole field. What we like to see. So, hey, thankfully no commentators first. So,
Battling Gonas versus Duncan in the GTPs. Move the 47 up to the 5th position. And let me tell you, McKenna's hanging on to the rear wing of Larson. To the inside of Duncan goes Gibbs in the 93 versus the 84. And these top 3 beginning to pull away. I'd say top 2, and Hayhurst is trying his best. At the end of the first lap, Lincoln Larson leads in GTP ahead of Maverick McKenna and Cody Hayhurst. Hayhurst trying to get tire temp in that prototype. And in the GT3 field at the end of the first lap, which will happen momentarily, Diltz is pulling away. He's got about a 3/4 of a second lead back to Ruiz in car number 80. And they have single file calmed down for the most part. GTPs through the bus stops, super clean. And let's try and find a battle. Morgan Smith versus Corey Allen. Battling again in turn 1, the 42 versus the 58. Through the S's, car length between the 42 and the 58. And it looks like Ruiz and Smart, 2nd place in GT3, side by side down the back straightaway. And Ruiz to the inside takes the spot on Smart in the 044. And there's some tire marks in the dirt there. Somebody must have went off, so we weren't super clean. But at least nobody, I don't think anybody had to tow back to the pit lane. Taking a look back through the field, Stephen Ryan, Brent Smith, 27th and 28th overall, 20th and 21st in class. They were battling.
We must have missed something because Hayhurst has a meatball.
Let's see. I'll take a look and try and see what happened. There's some huge damage. Oh, he was the cause of the tire marks. He clipped the first curb. It sent him to the left. We can keep on live pictures. He clipped the curb, sent him to the left. He tried to save it, and he nudged the tire barrier with the right rear. And Hayhurst will have to pit in the 98. I was going to say, those tire marks were not there on the first lap of the race. So apologies for missing that. 41 cars, it's pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, it's a massive field here for us. So, and there's action all over the speedway.
Is Holmes the cork in the bottle here? Because there's a massive train of cars behind him. Behind the 48, I should say. As a couple of the GT3s out and away from him. He sits in the 5th spot in class. And Hayhurst beginning to be passed by the GT3 cars. Larson is beginning to gap McKenna. Fazillo, Gonas, and Gibbs are having their own little battle for the third spot on the podium in GTP. Jay Smart behind Ruiz through the S's and up the back straightaway, getting the slipstream in the 80 versus the 044. Ruiz defends, takes the line, looking to the inside as Smart can't make anything happen. Tucks in right behind the 80. As 4 cars under a blanket, Morgan Smith and Holmes battling through the bus stop. Hayhurst is in the middle of this, as it looks like he might have got a faster pair. I'm not sure on the regulations there, Cody. But Hayhurst back on track in the 98.
Yeah, that was definitely some quick repairs. I'm imagining we have a fast repair. But yeah, he gave him credit. He kind of sliced with this entire GT3 pack pretty cleanly. Not with much issue, so credit to him on some smart driving. There's a massive group of cars here. About 10 cars under a blanket in the back straightaway.
As huge run for Michael LeBron. And what had happened to Oquendo, as all of these GT3 cars, Smith, Holmes, McLuhan, Clemens, LeBron, Requena, all of them are right here. We really don't have to go anywhere else for a battle.
Yeah, we got... Corey, Corey's able to jump, and now Smith got around Holmes as well. So I think you were right. I believe Holmes was kind of the cork in the bottle. Once these two they're already starting to check out.
So taking a look in the GTP field, we have Gibbs, Fazillo, and Gonas. They were all under a blanket. I think they got off the road. I took a look off monitor. Gonas ran off the road in the 47, lost some ground to Gibbs in the 93, and that's allowing McKenna and Larson to still pull away. But Fazillo in the middle of these two, so this GTP battle, and Marlo Duncan as well in the 84, if anything goes wrong between those guys. And in the bus stop, Clemens versus McLuhan, 991 versus 92 on the outside! That wasn't going to work! There was some netcode between the 92 and the 991. No issues. 991 keeps going. And Requena now in car number 2. And let's get a reset. Austin Diltz, Ruiz, Smart, Clark, and Corey Allen, the top 5 in GT3. Morgan Smith, Brandon Holmes, Clemens, LeBron, and McLuhan, the top 10 in GT3. But Requena looking to the inside of the 991 of McLuhan here, Cody.
Yeah, so we got a nice tight battle going on. And I wonder, going back to Clemens a little bit, he's like the highest running Mercedes. I noticed he's kind of driving his way through the field now. I don't know if he had a bad qualifying or if the Mercedes takes a little bit to kind of get rolling. As Larson's catching up to the back of the GT3 field, so. Oh.
Larson passes Clark. So, like you said, Cody, Larson is beginning to mix his way. So the leader mixing his way through the GT3 field. And let's just ride on board and take like half a lap and just soak it in, the speed of these GTPs here in Watkins Glen. I have to break out of that. Whoa! Wow! That was close, Cody. Stephen Ryan nearly came across into Lincoln Larson there.
Yeah, and Lincoln's in the Acura GTP, which is probably the hardest to see out of. It's got the most tunnel vision with the fenders being up higher than every other GTP, so, and the A-pillars in the coming for the windshield as well is like thicker than every other GTP, so it's like the hardest to see, so it's a pain to navigate. It's tough drafted.
Taking a look at Justin Gibbs versus, it's McKenna. They're battling for the second spot. And like we always say, if these guys have an issue, Dylan Gonas will take the spot, but Gibbs goes off the track to try and pass Stephen Ryan and McKenna. And it's already beginning. And we're only, I'd say, less than 10 minutes in. McKenna Under acceleration, loses control nearly to the inside of Urquides in the 223. This is the battle for the second spot in GTP and overall, and they have to funnel their way through these cars. Like you said in the opener, Cody, mind your own business! Contacted off the track! Goes Diedrich, and second place, man, Maverick McKenna. He comes out in front of Gonas.
Lincoln's in the tire barrier.
Our leader has crashed. And he had the same issue, trying to find his way around off the track. Let's get an update here. Now, Justin Gibbs leads the race. The guy who ran off the track in the toe of the boot is now leading this race. 3 GTPs under a blanket in the S's.
And the 2 Cadillacs that started at the back, I'm pretty sure like 1 and 3 now.
So much ground gained down the back straightaway. And Ethan Halsey minding his own business, staying in the middle of the track, saves it. And Gonas and Fazillo get by him. So, 1 car off the road, it's James Rep. Heavy damage to the 5. And he's off the track in that Porsche. So, let's get an update on the race leader. Let's take us through the field here as we cross 10 minutes in. And it's only been 10 minutes, but it certainly doesn't feel that way. Justin Gibbs leads ahead of Dylan Gonas, Fozzie Fazillo, Marlo Duncan, Lincoln Larson, Maverick McKenna, and Cody Hayhurst. So, McKenna and Larson are battling, but it's not for the position that we expected. In GTP, Larson looks to the inside of Duncan, battling for the 4th and 5th spots. McKenna wants this battle as well. Well, there's so much going on. Side by side through turn 10, Duncan holds it! Way off the track in the 84, comes back on, and he loses the spot to McKenna as well. Loses 2. Now, Cody, if you're Larson or McKenna and you had those issues with the lap cars, what's the mindset here?
Just gonna get back in the rhythm, try to make smart and decisive choices. When you kind of hesitate driving through traffic, that's when you usually make your mistake. When you kind of second guess yourself, or you have to commit. Like as you see McKenna go around the outside there, that's what you have to do. You have to commit.
Huge crash in the S's. Marlo Duncan and a couple of GT3s, Kledzik, and it was Oquendo. I caught it on the corner of my monitor. Huge hit. He was 6th spot in GTP. Trying to roll it back and take a look. Oh, he was an innocent victim in that. Because I think McKenna lost it, came across the track and into Duncan. And Kledzik got involved as well. And that's another thing. A GT3 car makes a mistake and you close up so quick. The door closes, it's over.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Marlo there in the firelit Cadillac. Kind of wrong place, wrong time.
So, Gibbs still leads. He's got a 2.6 second lead over Gonas, in the 47. And we just await, obviously pit stops are not going to come this early. At least I don't think they will. But a lot of cars in the pit lane for crash damage.
Smart just went into the pit barrier.
Smart is crashing on the final corner, and Duncan involved as well. It was McKenna. McKenna crashes in the 817, and I think it's over. It's a war of... It's attrition for this GTP field. You're so quick and there's so few. Who can survive?
Yeah, it's gotten really chaotic really quick. The GT3 field is really spread out, especially in the beginning here. So these first time through, it's a harder...
So we're focused now on the battle for third between Fazillo and Larson, as Gonas and Gibbs minding their own business. Last time around, Gibbs was half a second faster than Gonas, and Larson had matched Gibbs on lap time as the GTP leader was coming up on Deegan Urquides in the 223. So, attrition, name of the game. We've got 3 GTP cars, or sorry, 2 of them in the pit lane. And Jeffrey Seymour, I'm just looking through the field. He's in the 9 car and 38th overall. He is spun in turn 1. And everybody having issues. Dieterich in the 32. He's sitting in 36th. He had an issue through the carousel. And Cody, it's sometimes it gets so chaotic. Let's look at the GTPs here. Fazillo versus Larson. It gets so chaotic you don't know what to focus on, but we'll keep an eye on these GTPs.
Beautiful thing with the multi-class racing. See if Larson can jump up into a podium position here.
Larson 0.8 of a second faster that last time around over Fazillo in the 55. Marlo Duncan exits the pit lane as I'm just taking a look on timing and scoring. The two come together through the bus stop. Larson wants a way around. Washing out in the carousel in the dirty air of the 55, looking to the outside. Can he make it stick? Pinches into the curb. You've got the lapper of Urquidy's in the way. Larson, they make contact! And Larson takes the spot. Stay in the middle of the road, Urquidy's. You don't want to get involved in another wreck. And Fazillo loses the spot.
As now Lincoln will set his sights on seat number 2.
So, if we can take a look, well, let me flick through and see if there's anything happening battle-wise. It looks like everyone's pretty calm. Dylan Clark and Caden Dieterich, but they're off the lead lap. That's 24th and 34th overall. So, Oquendo versus Halsey in the GT3 field. This is for 14th and 15th in the GT3s. Last lap, Oquendo, 7th and 8th in class. Halsey and Oquendo last time around, Oquendo was 4 seconds slower, but I think he was involved in an accident or avoiding cars. And Halsey just minding his own business in the 61. And we're losing cars hand over fist here from disconnections, from accidents, from anything. And we have made contact for the third spot here, boys. In the bus stop. Larson clipped the first Armco barrier, crossed the track. There's huge right side damage on that car. He came across into Fazillo, and they hit again. One car around, Gonas in the 47 from second in GTP. So even if you're by yourself, Cody, you still can't escape calamity.
No, I think Gibbs is the only clean one so far.
Not technically, because he drove off the road
true,
before everyone
very
else
true.
crashed. I don't know if Gonas is going to be able to continue. I do believe we have a faster pair. I'll try and look, but he is missing his rear wing, so he'll for faster pair limit 2, so he'll at least get a fresh car, but still taking that time down the pit lane. So let's get an update on the running order. Justin Gibbs, Lincoln Larson, Fozzie Fazillo, Dylan Gonas, Cody Hayhurst, the top 5 overall and in GTP. Maverick McKenna, Marlo Duncan rounding out the GTP field. Austin Diltz, as ignore me there, we're going to switch to the battle. 13th in class, Stephen Ryan and Jack Clark. They are battling side by side, and they are right behind Henning Sparva and Brent Smith. So if these two can stop squabbling, we might have 4 or 5 cars under a blanket here.
Trying to move his way up, kind of catch up to his teammate who's leading the GT3 class.
So, Austin Diltz, Edgar Ruiz, as Corey Allen, Morgan Smith, everyone really minding their own business. As I say that, Morgan Smith just a kiss of the outside wall in 4th in class in the GT3s. Holmes gains down the front straightaway. Car length between them, deep on the brakes! That wasn't going to work, and the 48 spins in front of Rakenna and back on track, at least delayed for a bit. Backs out and gets back on track in that Porsche. Gonna lose the spot to Oquendo, gonna lose the spot to Halsey. So
Halsey's got a little bit of run up here through the S.
Side by side.
Into the bus stop.
Will we see some side drafting in sports cars, or will Halsey duck behind? Side by side down the bus stop. They're going to be equal in the corner. Who's going to budge? Halsey's just going to let him have it. Fazillo has gotten by Larson. Larson has pitted from the second spot in GTP. So just an update there. And Gibbs leading in GTP, closing in on Brent Smith and Henning Svarva. So that battle that we were talking about earlier with Ryan and Clark. Hauls and spins. He is in the heel of the boot, coming back out on track in front of the GTP leader. He's back on track, no harm done. Loses a couple spots in that BMW. So Hayhurst has gotten by Larson. We still focus on this battle now after Halsey's spin. Henning Svarva, Ethan Halsey, Jack Clark. This is for 11th, 12th, and 13th in GT3. Brent Smith holds the top 10 position in the number 7. And they are just minding their own business from, I'd say, first to that 9th position, 10th position in GT3. And then you get behind Brent Smith, and there's 5 cars within a second, Cody.
Yeah, it tends to happen this way with multi-class racing. We'll get just kind of groups of cars. And I believe we're going to have a pit stop at some point, so we're going to have some pits that are involved, but a good clean racing here by the GT3 field.
As if you're just joining us, welcome in to the OSRL GT Series here on the Automotive Sports Network. Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, Cody Erdmann alongside me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz. As we have just hit 24 and a half minutes left in this race, and it has been chaos from the word go, and it's a lot of not knowing what to focus on. Right now, you got 5 cars under a blanket on screen here. Brent Smith, Henning Svarva, Ethan Halsey. Halsey is quicker than Svarva. Looks like at least down the backstretch. Jack Clark and Donnie Heineman in the 64 sits in the 21st place overall, and he sits 14th in class. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network. We have our NASA Rallycross show Sunday, Monday, and the OSRL GT Series debuting here on ASN on Thursday night. And if you'd like us to broadcast your series, ASNTVUSA.com. Clark looks to the outside of Halsey. Bimmer versus Bimmer, trying to catch a Porsche and a Ferrari. And these GT3 cars, absolutely gorgeous. Fozzie Fazzillo has completely crashed in the 55. I just took a look on timing. I'm trying to look off monitor to see what exactly happened. He was sitting in the pit lane for a long time, and he crashed in turn 9. Lost it under braking. And into the wall goes the 55. Cody, wait a second. Cody
Hi.
Hayhurst is leading this race. What happened to Justin Gibbs? Did he pit? He did. Okay, so scheduled stop for the 93. Apologies, it's been 3 months. We're a little bit rusty. And plus, we haven't had 41 cars on track in quite some time. So we're starting to see pit stops halfway through this race.
Which in my mind, at least if I was driving, that would sound about right. Kind of split the race in half. You're not going to be running like multiple full field spins. So we're pretty much going to have a window of about 10 minutes of pit stop. So kind of play the traffic and what it's going to look like for you, push to the GTP field, and then GT3 just kind of honestly do it whenever you feel like it's necessary.
As it's always the worst time in motorsports to decide when to go to an ad break, but I think we're going to step aside as we're kind of halfway through. We'll take you picture-in-picture here in Watkins Glen.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap clock at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Ragster acing the entry to turn one, up and to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Ragster's going to hold the spot. We welcome you back to the first round of the fourth season of the OSRL GT Series here from Watkins Glen with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck and Cody Erdmann alongside me in the contra box. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you back to Watkins Glen, New York. Cameras for tonight's broadcast brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams, and coverage of OSRL on ASN is brought to you by NordVPN, your gateway to online freedom and security. Protect your digital privacy with military-grade encryption, browse the web anonymously, and access your favorite content from anywhere in the world. You can receive 67% off a 2-year plan with 3 months free for a friend at nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. For those of you just joining us, like I said, welcome back. Welcome, I should say. And it has been a brawl. And we have 17 3/4 minutes left. And nobody wants to win this race, Cody Erdmann. I just watched Cody Hayhurst spin in the bus stop from second in class in GTPs as he takes it to the pit lane.
As Gibbs is now retaking over the lead, got about 8-second lead at the moment over Lincoln Larson. He's trying to reel him in, so we should probably have a really good battle here coming to the end. Lincoln has been a little bit quicker, just made a couple of mistakes overall in this race, and currently most of the GT3 field is doing their pit stops right now. So Austin Diltz has been leading this whole race, but now is currently sitting P4, but we are waiting on kind of the reshake-up of all the, once the cars come back out from the green flag pit stop, is pretty much like the rest of the top 5 pitted lap after Diltz. So something to keep an eye on.
There's just a couple programming notes while we run through these pit stops. The second test of NASA Rallycross Lights will be Sunday. That will be March 10th. I'm not sure if there's going to be a broadcast, but you're more than welcome to race NASASimRacing.com. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Then the next day, on Monday, will be the second test of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge. That will be in Knock Hill as well, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There definitely will be a there definitely won't be commentators, I'll put it that way. Not sure if Brian's going to broadcast that. I will be racing in that. The season begins the following week, and that will be in Hell in Norway, and that will be the Sunday the 17th, Monday the 18th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for that. And the next round for the OSRL GT Series, round 2 at the Daytona International Speedway. That will be next Thursday, and that will be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So, let's see if we have any movement in any positions through the pit stops. Gibbs still leads. Larson, call it 7 seconds from Gibbs to Larson. Fazillo is all over the rear wing of Hayhurst. They've come together once or twice this evening. Brandon Holmes and Edgar Ruiz. Ruiz is 7th in class in car number 80. He has got Alex Rivera in front of him. Rivera way off the pace in the 000. He's 29th in class. He pulls over and lets Ruiz by. And just a reminder, if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network. If you'd like to have your content broadcasted by us, asnTVUSA.com for any and all information. And like I've mentioned numerous times, apologies if it's a bit rusty. It's the first time in 3 months that we've had something go on. First race of the 2024 calendar year for us. And just like last race, the Winter Nationals, I'm getting over another sinus infection, okay? I just have terrible luck, and so I'm a little raspy, so I apologize for that one. But Cody, under 15 minutes, and now we just wait and see if the field, will we see some movement here? Larson is losing ground to Gibbs in the 93 to the 916 in 7.2 seconds. And there's really been no battle in GT3 for the lead. Like you mentioned earlier, Diltz has ran and hid from Dylan Clark in the 934.
Yeah, Diltz has been the class of the field. Dylan Clark jumped up to P2 with the full pit cycle, so really good pit stop by him going on. And then, yeah, Corey Allen P3 at the moment in GT3. He's been kind of top 5 this entire time, driving his way through the field in the beginning, so good clean race into the GT3.
Closest battle it looks like we have Henning Svarva and Steven Ryan. This is for 16th in GT3s. Ryan and Svarva. Fazillo's within a second of Hayhurst. They've been ebbing and flowing all evening long. But everybody else running their own race. So it's BMW versus Porsche for the 16th spot in GT3. As we currently take a look on screen, as I believe, let's try and find him here. So, we're going to look at Ryan versus Svarva. I'm going to roast you on a live call, Bryan Sawyer. I was calling that one for the last 30 seconds, but it's okay. There are so many cars, so many cars to pay attention to. We should be fixing something. We have an issue internally with some screen tearing, and one car around in front of them, it was Wesley Woods. He's 25th in class, not affected. Dylan Gonas squeezed his way on the outside of Ryan there in the final corner, Cody.
Yeah, these two battling out, trying to see who can get the better position. It looks like Ryan's a little bit quicker here, so he's already trying to pull away over Svarva. So he can kind of set his sights now in the next car, which for him would be Omar
Esvito in the 18. He sits 15th in class. He gets passed by Dylan Gonas in the 47. And there's everyone minding their own business for sure for now. But I'll tell you what, Justin Gibbs in the lead in the 93. The gap is shrinking. It is shrinking heavily. It was 7.2 last lap. It is now 6.3. So last time around, the lap time for Gibbs was 1 minute 32.4. Last lap for Larson, 1 minute 31.7. Will we see a late race charge from the 916? The man who is a second faster than the rest of the field in qualifying.
Yeah, Lincoln here, he's getting through the rest of the traffic that our leader Gibbs, he was just going through, so that might be a little bit of the difference, because Lincoln ran a 32.2, so one of the traffic is 31.9 from Gibbs, so a little bit quicker that last time.
So, we're going to take a little bit of a, I don't want to say a break. We're not going to commercial, right? But we're going to ride on board the 817 of Maverick McKenna. It's got some traffic to attend to, so let's just sit back and listen. Again, as I wanted to give you that opportunity, nearly contact for McKenna and Clemens. Now he looks to the inside of Diederich, and let's try that again. McKenna pits in the 817, and I'll tell you what, let's switch it up just a pinch. Let's run on board Henning Svarva in 17th in class in GT3 as he chases down Steven Ryan. We gave the GTP some love. Let's give the Porsche some love and run on board. Draw our attention to Steve Tucker in 10th in class. He is catching up to Matthew Buchorn in the 22 within, let's call it, a quarter of a second, and Dylan Clark battling with Brandon Holmes right up the road there. And I'm keeping an eye on the race leader. It is 5.5 seconds from Gibbs to Larson with just over, let's call it 9 minutes left, Cody Erdmann.
Yeah, Dylan Clark, he must have been Corey Allen. Morgan Smith at 2 and 3. So Tucker looking on the left side, going into the center portion of the boot, deep on the brakes. Goes around him on the outside, so moves him up one position.
Gibbs got stuck behind. The race leader got stuck behind a GT3 car in turn 10. Larson, the last time around, was a second faster. The gap is shrinking. So I'll keep one eye on that and one eye on this GT3 battle once again. It's Steve Tucker and Matthew Buchorn. This is for 9th and 10th in class. They dispatched Jacob Fugate. He is in the 16. He is in 31st overall. That puts him in 24th in class. So not a good day for him. And Buchorn gets held up. So he's going to lose some ground to Tucker there. Henning Svarva and Steven Ryan, they've been ebbing and flowing all evening long as well, 16th and 17th in GT3. And just to keep an eye, we don't have to transition to it, but Luke Kledzik and Brent Smith, 20th and 21st. Kledzik, defending champion in GTP, moved to GT3s this season and had some bad luck earlier on. So, who do you want to keep an eye on, Cody Erdmann? We've got about 3 battles and 7.5 minutes left.
Well, actually, we're going to have a really good battle for the third step of the podium in GT3 because Christian, Gene, and Morgan are all closing in on each other, and the faster car is Christian, who's in P1. So they're all kind of accordioning onto each other. So depending on what may happen here in the closing couple minutes, we may have a battle for the podium.
And Gene McLuhan in the 991. Behind Morgan Smith in the 58. Diltz leads. He has led since the start. And the gap in the GTP field, not missing anything there. It is 7 seconds now. Larson got held up, looks like in turn 1.
Last time here, 46.8 by Morgan, 46.3 by Gene, and then 46.7 by Christian, and actually Ruiz was even quicker than Christian, so he's, I think, a little bit too far back on the road behind Christian.
He's 45.9, but it's certainly not going to be enough time. As Svarva and Ryan, they just can't separate from each other. Nor can Clark and Holmes. Let's pay attention, actually, to 7th and 8th at the moment, as they are going to be drafting down the back straightaway. I'll keep an eye off monitor at those two. Clark looks drivers left. We get the slipstream down the back straightaway. It is Porsche versus Ferrari. Down the straightaway into the bus stop. Who's going to budge? They're not going to budge. Racing for position. Contact. Was that contact or was that net code? It looked clean to me. Wow.
Good hard racing here. Trying to get a good points day to start off their season. Clark moves himself up one position and looking more quick.
And now, Svarva and Ryan. Will we see the same thing? 16th and 17th in GT3. I think it's a little bit too far back this time around for Svarva to do anything, but he's gaining on Ryan down the backstretch. Bimmer versus Porsche. Super deep on the brakes in the 878. As they get passed by one of the GTPs, and it's Maverick McKenna. What could have been for the 817? We're going to go back to the battle for 7th and 8th between Clark and Holmes in GT3. We thought it was over. It's not over, as we're just under 5 minutes left to go. And in true Josh Mertz fashion, bouncing between battles, Cody, I want to bring it to your attention. We don't have to switch to it, but Morgan Smith and Gene McLuhan, 1 minute 46.216. Identical that last time around. According to iRacing, McLuhan ran a 217, so I guess we stand corrected there. Identical lap times.
I just noticed that right when you're speaking.
Oquendo,
I'm like,
though, you were right. Oquendo is coming in the 0-1. It is 3/4 of a second from McLuhan to Oquendo. That is for the 4th spot, so still off the podium for the 0-1, but let's see if he can get it done.
okay, these three are going to put on an amazing show here for us. They're going to try to get that final step of the podium. These two Porsches hunting down that Audi.
Smith, yes. Smith and McLuhan and Oquendo. 0.8 of a second between those two cars. And I've still kept an eye on the GTP battle. We haven't missed anything. It has ebbed and flowed, but it has grown to the biggest margin that has been in quite some time. It's 7.5 seconds from Justin Gibbs to Lincoln Larson. And you're asking, Josh, why are you bringing this up 900 times? We talk about it in NASA races, in any race that ASM broadcasts. In motorsports in general, it could change within 2 seconds. Not trying to wish it, but it's happened. You could crash in the final corner, so it's never over till you take the checkered flag, Cody Erdmann.
Absolutely. As Smith went off into the grass a little bit. That slowed him down to a 46.5, a 45.9 for McLuhan. Smith runs wide again in turn 1, so I think the pressure's on for Smith. He's a little cracked under pressure.
We do have Gonas in the GTP mixing it in between these GT3 cars. And like we mentioned in the opener, you mind your own business if you're a GT3 car. It's the GTP's responsibility. 0.8 of a second for McLuhan to make up on Morgan Smith in these last 2.5 minutes. Gap is 6.5. It has shrank. What happened to our race? I misspoke, promise. I thought it was our race leader. I saw a car disappear off my monitor into the fence. I'm trying to see who it was off monitor. And it was McKenna versus Buchorn in the back of the field. And it's gone from bad to worse for the 817. And the gap, Larson's got a pit. So it's pretty much over unless Gibbs has to pit in this last minute here.
Yeah, just enough space for him. I think McLuhan's going to have to send a real big dive bomb, or he's going to have to reel him in one of the two.
So Morgan Smith is 0.8 of a second, let's call it a second, ahead of McLuhan. And Oquendo is 1.1 as they have the GTP of Duncan making his way through the field. So, 1.5 minutes left to go. And if I think we're going to take the white flag this next time around according to timing and scoring. So Justin Gibbs, who really started this chain reaction of chaos as he tried to make a 3-wide pass, exiting the toe of the boot, and then the GTP cars crashed, battling with GT3 cars.
Smith.
The battle's not over. McLuhan looks driver's right. Nearly contact in the S's, they do! And McLuhan takes the spot. You called it, Cody. That is third on the GT3 podium. Here comes Oquendo. Are we saving fuel?
Oh, a little bit of contact in his bus stop.
Lapper, Brent Smith in the 7, way down the order.
Oh, and Morgan loses it.
McLuhan and Oquendo. This is going to be the battle for third. We're not missing anything up front.
Actually, yes, we are.
It's Gibbs running out of fuel! The race leader is out of fuel, coming to the white flag. Why is it in season openers, Cody, that we always have something like this? Just like IMSA and Daytona last year. Where's Larson? Larson to the lead. White flag for Lincoln Larson in the 916. McLuhan versus Oquendo. This is for third. Wow. So I stand corrected. We are getting, this is the penultimate lap, and it has adjusted. So we are on the white flag, I believe. Just a issue on how the sim handles it. Apologies for that one. Oquendo versus McLuhan. We're still focused on this battle. And I thought it was over for Lincoln Larson, but he still got half a lap to do it. Oquendo's half a second as we begin the GT3's last lap. Oquendo NASCARing it, using all of the runoff you can through the S's.
And just to give you an idea, our leader for the GT3 is the character. How big of a lead he has.
Austin Diltz has been pretty much uncontested all evening long. Fozzie pits. GTPs are not going to have enough fuel. Lincoln Larson through turn 9, through the final couple of corners. It has been a chaotic debut for ASN and OSRL, but it has been a cracking race. Lincoln Larson thought he lost the race 40 minutes ago. He comes off the final corner, and according to our timing, is it the checkered flag? He wins in Watkins Glen. Let's go back to the battle for third in GT3. It looks like it has fizzled out. Brandon Holmes battling Clark. This is for the sixth spot in GT3. Gonas will finish second. Fazzillo looks like he's going to come home in the... Sorry, he got passed by Gibbs.
As Dilt takes the checkered flag for the GT3 field. Austin Dilt will be our opening winner here.
He ran such an anonymous race. So, Gibbs and Fazzillo battling for third in GTP. And it's been so chaotic. Apologies for the both finish calls. It's so hard to keep track with all these cars. And final set of corners. What could have been for Justin Gibbs? Survived the chaotic middle portion just to run out of fuel. And final set of corners. It's a consolation prize for the 93. He will come home in third. Final step on the podium. As Fozzie Fazzillo will come home in the fourth spot. Last car on the lead lap. And I like this league already, Cody Erdmann. They're doing a NASA style. Everybody burns it down, and it doesn't matter what happens.
Now, an absolutely crazy race here to start off the season. Didn't expect half the GTP field to be running out of fuel, but I guess those guys cut it just a little bit too short, and unfortunately Gibbs was the
Victor Valley just informed me that Fozzie pushed Gibbs back to the pit lane.
That's some teamwork there.
Wow. So
which put Gibbs on the podium still, and Fozzie was P4.
Cody Erdmann, we're going to bring in our GT3 race winner, Austin Diltz, and he's all yours. Whenever you're ready, Cody.
Brian, you all good? Okay. Hey there, Austin, you got us?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, guys?
First off, congratulations on winning the season opener here in Watkins Glen in the GT3 field. Kind of talk us through your race.
Real quick, before you start, I want to apologize. We missed you crossing the line. It was such a chaotic race, but great race. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to be able to clock that qualifying lap to kind of get me ahead of the madness in the start, and I was lucky enough that Jay and Edgar were fighting, and they were kind of fighting amongst themselves, and they forgot about me, and then Edgar got collected, and I just had to keep that crazy Audi on track.
Yeah, you had a pretty good sizable start or a gap right off the start there. You're able to kind of run your own race. Did you kind of have a strategy for pits? I noticed like everyone kind of countered you. Like you came in and then most of the top 5 came in the next lap after you. So was that kind of a strategy plan for you and your team, or was it kind of just
I came around
on
that
your
last
feel?
corner at 1.1 laps remaining estimated, and I have anxiety generally as a person, so I just decided to dive for the pits, and I didn't want to try another one because my pits they were all the way at the end, and I've had Watkins races where I've come by at 1.1 laps and I don't make it to the pit box, and I didn't want that to happen.
Well, smart move on your part there, because I don't know if you heard what happened in the GTP field, but coming to the white, Gibbs was leading and ran out. So smart calling you to kind of save your race and run a smart defensive race. You had a big enough gap where you didn't really have to be on the offensive when it comes to pit strategy.
Yeah.
Who'd you like to thank on getting you P1 tonight?
I mean, I like to thank the team, all the WBM guys. We're a tight knit little community. We like to do practices and a lot of great guys. Thank my dad if he's watching, because I sent him the broadcast, so he might still be on. But thank you guys. You guys did a great job. I was watching some of the qualifying, and you guys sounded like you were doing a really professional job out there. So thanks.
Thank you. We absolutely appreciate it.
We try our hardest. We really do. But good race, my friend, and we will see you next week in Daytona.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
I got one more for you, Cody Erdmann. It's going to be our race winner, Lincoln Larson. I guess I can ask the first little bit of the question. What happened? You crashed, and then you somehow win the race. Talk me through your race, and then Cody's got the rest.
I mean, I don't know. Lap traffic was pretty hard, and then I crashed, and I do feel really bad for Fozzie, I think. Kind of got in his way there, and then I knew that he didn't have enough fuel to finish, so I just pit with like 2 laps to go.
Yeah, so our dumb question, not sure what kind of how this league is and the exact specifications we have for the GTP field. Are you guys able to make it on just one stop, or is it like super close? Because it seemed like everyone was running out for you guys in the GTP field.
I mean, personally, if I saved fuel, like, from the start of the race, like mega, I probably could have made it, but when I crashed, I just kind of went as much as I can, didn't really save fuel, so I would have had to save an extra lap.
Who'd you like to thank to get you P1 overall in class here at Watkins Glen?
I don't know, just the team I'm doing it with, just some of my good friends, and yeah, just fun having them here.
Absolutely. If anything, that's part of the whole thing with racing, even on the virtual side, doing with friends, having fun doing it, especially when you're winning. Winning's fun.
But hopefully next round goes better with the lap cars and stuff. So
absolutely, we look forward to seeing you in Daytona. So
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So a bit of a little fourth wall break that, of course, I don't like to do, but my iRacing crashed, so I have no results to bring up. So we do know that Lincoln Larson obviously won this race. Dylan Gonaz, Justin Gibbs, Fozzie Fazzillo, Marlo Duncan, and Austin Diltz comes home in the 6th spot overall, winning in GT3. Corey Allen, Gene McLuhan, Christian Oquendo, Edgar Ruiz, and so Ruiz, Holmes, Clark, Tucker, Heineman, Clark, the top 10 in GT3. So Maverick McKenna, 6th in GTP, all the way down in 20th overall, and 4 cars on the lead lap. And we thought that IMSA race where the one driver made through the entire race and won the race and passed everyone was great. But running out of fuel, coming to the white flag, you can't script it. It has been a wild evening tonight, Cody Erdmann.
Absolutely, and we also had, our winner in GT3 was pretty checked out, but we had a really good battle for the third step of the podium there in GT3. Like multiple cars, nose and tail there the last couple laps. So really good showing here for our first race. Looking forward to Daytona, and even just the rest of the season. But Daytona should be fun, as most of these drivers, I'd imagine, would have some pretty recent history around that track with the Daytona 24 ending about a month ago. So looking forward to it.
As let's get a couple of programming notes and sponsor plugs, and then we'll sign off for this inaugural round of the OSRL GT Series here on ASN. NASA Rallycross Lights, the second and final test week, will be Sunday, March 10th. That'll be in Knock Hill. Not sure if we're going to have a broadcast, but if we have one, it is going to be 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern time. That'll have Victor Valley in the production truck, James Watson alongside Jared Lott. Our second and final test for the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge the following day, also in Knock Hill. That will not have a commentator broadcast. I'll be driving. The following week will be the season opener. That will be in Norway on the 18th. That'll have Bryan Sawyer, Justin Robichaud, and myself, Josh Mertz, for that, 8 p.m. Eastern time. The second round of the OSRL GT Series, round 2 at Daytona. And like you mentioned, hopefully a lot of these guys have experience with these cars on Daytona, as it's one of the biggest tracks in obviously in sim racing, but in sports car racing. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network. Follow our content on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. And if you'd like your content broadcasted, ASNTVUSA.com. Just a reminder, our cameras for tonight's broadcast and the entire season are brought to you by Whiplash SimCam. Some wonderful work done by them, and coverage on ASN all year, brought to you by NordVPN. Your gateway to online freedom and security. Protect your digital privacy with military-grade encryption. Browse the web anonymously and access your favorite content from anywhere in the world. Receive 67% off a 2-year plan with 3 months free at nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. I know you kind of gave me a final thought, Cody, but give me one last little bit. I'll close it up.
Yeah, really loved our opener here in Watkins Glen. Good racing. Yeah, a little, I would say, rookie mistakes, but that's just a league kind of getting to know each other, especially with multi-class racing. So really looking forward to kind of the series growing as just the drivers kind of learning each other's tendencies as we go on to Daytona and so forth. So, but overall, really good race, really entertaining. There's battles. You were calling battles for like T20. We like never used to do that. So
never ever.
So really good racing all throughout the field, and hopefully we can kind of keep growing this series and help them show the world that how good the series is on track action. Hopefully we can keep growing it. So.
As the checkered flag has fallen on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Jess Rakowski, Victor Valley, Jared Lott, Chad Irvine, Philip Kraus, Justin Robichaud, Cody Erdmann, James Watson, and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz. We hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the OSRL GT Series tonight from Watkins Glen. Be sure to join us in 2 weeks for the season openers for NASA Rallycross, and next Thursday at Daytona for round 2 of the GT Series. But until then, so long, everyone.